All right, boys. Do a little bit of this. We'll do a little swap in here, a little hot swap over there. So our man, the myth, the legend, he has returned.
Yeah,
Mr.
I'm
Rick.
back for the third time.
Third time, man. You're starting to streak here, man. You're gonna end up like Carter soon.
Yeah, Carter just showed up one day. I don't thought he was a guest, and he's just been here.
Yeah, that's cool. I got you.
He outshows us all up, man.
Well,
He's like the walk on.
That's funny. That's funny stuff. Boys, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. I do want to expand on my viral marketing campaign for 6,000 subs. Hopefully we're trying to get to 10. I've been doing it for like, I don't know, a couple hours every week. So hopefully we can get there. People seem excited. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, we were at like 5,400 for a while. So I've been cranking it out for like a couple days. So 600 subs in like 2 weeks is not terrible.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Over the hump.
Yeah. People are more excited. I got a lot of younger viewers now from subs and stuff. People are really encouraging about it. Like Rick said last episode, cold calling young people. They seem more excitable, I guess.
Until they see it's old.
Yeah, people are like an hour. I'm like, yeah, it's good background content. What else? I heard somebody said Aquaman was their favorite character. Deadpool. Who else? Nightwing was an option a couple nights ago, so I thought was interesting. I always ask what their favorite character is. Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man, and I get some really crazy ones. So it's interesting.
Yeah, you
watch out for those that say Squirrel Girl.
One person said Squirrel Girl. And it was a girl, though. It was a girl, though. It was a girl.
There was definitely a point in time when it was like trendy to like claim Squirrel Girl was your favorite character, whether it was or not. And I also think that was during a time when, like, you know, like we were heavy in the like nerd chic time period. What was that, like early 2010s, 2014, somewhere around that time period?
Yeah. Everybody was getting, what's a Squirrel Girl's first appearance? Let me get a 9.8.
Yeah. My kids were talking about it for some reason this week. Even I don't know why. It wasn't in my brain, and they're like, "Why is Squirrel Girl ever able to beat everybody? It doesn't make any sense. What are her powers?" Like they had seen it on a video or a wiki or something, and they were perplexed as much as the rest of us.
I get a lot of, speaking of that, I get a lot of that too. Like, who would win in a fight? Like, is it Thor or, you know, and people are like Goku or Vegeta or Hulk. I'm like, I don't know, bro. Just, you know.
It's Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, Squirrel Girl. So, all right, boys.
Squirrel Girl.
It's always Squirrel Girl. That's my answer to everything. They asked me what my favorite character is. I gotta go. I should tell them like some crazy shit, like Adam Warlock. Like who? I don't know.
Blue Marvel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's not get started on that.
Yeah, and people say Doctor
I took
Strange.
hits in the comments for that one the other week.
Yeah, Doctor Strange was a good one. A lot of people say that too. So, Mr. Z, this is kind of your topic, right? CGC announces major improvements to return shipping and insurance services. And then I put this blurb. I don't. Is that
the blurb is actually CBCS? So don't mix. Okay. Sorry, Dino mixed them up, and I didn't. Okay. I didn't specify.
Okay.
So I thought it was interesting because CGC kind of threw an announcement. Whether you think it positive, negative, they gave it a positive spin, and CBCS within the same day or day apart threw in a price change notice that they didn't even announce. They put it on their website, and people started calling them out on it. So
yeah. So, but this comment's probably for both, though, honestly, because CGC's raised their prices too. I mean,
did CBCS put an exclamation point on raising prices?
Pretty much.
You gotta be excited. We're all excited for this.
Well, they basically said, "Oh, we put it on the site too early, so here we're going to talk about it." But I mean, they got eviscerated in the comments. I think Dennis is their only fan still.
Oh. So the comment just reads, and it can be for Z was talking about it before. Cards. It could be to both grading companies. But yeah, it's like. So they're basically people are saying that the standard tier is such a miserable experience that you have to pay for Express to get your books back in a timely fashion, and then they just keep jacking up prices because turnaround times get so high. But I mean,
when you guys were looking at the card market, I always heard it. It's like to get your cards back, you're at $100 tier or something because they'll raise the prices as they get busier.
Yep.
And that's what it feels like there. I mean,
No.
CGC didn't do a price range. Theirs was shipping, which honestly, I had they basically have said they've done sounds like an exclusive agreement with FedEx.
Yeah.
Which I have been using FedEx the last couple of times because to get the registered mail is just a excruciating experience. Not that it's bad, it's just it'll sit places for days. My brother, as I've said before, is a mailman. He's like, it gets in a cage, and if somebody doesn't feel like getting it out, they don't get it out, and it just sits there an extra day. And they have different routes. I mean, the FedEx gets there. They weren't able to insure, but now it sounds like they've added insurance options. So I see no reason why I wouldn't take that as a win.
I don't know about you guys, but in my area, FedEx is like not worth a shit.
Trash.
Like,
They suck.
Yeah,
They never stick around. Like they'll just.
Yep. No matter what. Like, and the thing is, like, it'd be one thing if they were doing the whole like leaving a notice because like there was nobody to sign for it. Nah. What they do around here is just like sign for you and leave the shit.
Yeah.
No,
See,
they don't. They won't do any of that. At least what I've dealt with the CGC a couple times now, because I haven't. I can't even program them to drop box it at like the Walgreens or Kinko's or whatever it is. You can't do any of that. Like,
oh yeah, you can't change it on either side. Like UPS or FedEx, they no longer allow you to change it.
So the only option is it ends up going back to my hub, which I go pick it up or I schedule again. But I don't know. Pros and cons. I end up going to have to get the damn mail either way.
I just
guess it depends what's closer.
I just sent it to
multiple. Oh, wait, sorry.
Oh, okay. I just send it. So what I do is I just send it to my business because we have FedEx all day, and it's like people know not to open. If they see shit, and I'll just say, "Hey, I'm waiting on a package." And it could be heavy as fuck, but I'll just say, like, just sit on my desk or just leave it back here and just kind of, like, slide it under a table and I'll come get it. But I work at a small company, so.
Yeah, I have to do the same thing. If I send it to my house, they're knocking once and they're running away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So FedEx around here just signs for it no matter where it goes. Like, package I had come from Heritage came through FedEx, and again, like, this isn't like people, like regular people sending me stuff. I had a big book when I showed off the giant size X-Men 9.6. Just got left at the address, with a fake signature on it. This week's pickup, another big book, 15 grand plus book, signature required. Book was just signed for and left. And so that's just how FedEx gets down out here. Again, that might just be a Pacific Northwest thing, but I've never had good experiences with FedEx.
I wonder if the insurance issue will change some of that.
Well, see, the Heritage books, I know for a fact they're insured for full value because that's what their handling fee is on your, like, so, that's the reason why it costs, $30 to $50 depending on the value of the book. Like, no, Heritage absolutely insures the book for full value. FedEx is just, so what's happening is that what I've seen with FedEx is that they're being overextended on their routes. So basically, if they don't fake sign for you, they will end up just not completing the route for that day. They'll get dinged on it and they'll have to come back out and run it again. I had a book basically on a truck 3 days in a row because they couldn't complete the route because they had too many boxes in the back of the truck. And so eventually they just signed for it and left it.
So I guess I'm going to throw it to the audience. I'd love some more opinions because I've had great luck. I don't have bad luck with the post office. It's more frustrating, and it always takes a while for them to find it when I go. Mm-hmm. And travel time for me to get to one to the other, one's a 5-minute drive, one's 10. I don't care that much. I mean,
UPS is still an option. Like I still use UPS exclusively I just had 3 boxes of 25 show up in the last week while I was out of town, all UPS because I have my own account with them. And it takes seconds to sign up for it. Like, it's not like the old days where you have to have like a company number and all this other shit. Like, if you're willing to back it with your credit card, you now have. And I mean, even though I back with my credit card, I pay it off with my PayPal. Yeah. So they send me an invoice, I process it through PayPal, and that's kind of how I get down because I just get such a better experience out of UPS around here.
I mean, my UPS guy, him and my wife know each other like back in her hand with Amazon and stuff. So it's like I trust the UPS all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, he comes in, he knocks on the door. He'll wait around.
I think it's all the driver because I mean most of these guys have designated routes, either one.
Yeah. I mean, my dude will call me straight up. He's like, "Yo, I'm gonna be on your house soon. I got a package for it. It needs to be signed for. You guys in the area?" I was like, "Nah, but you can go ahead and sign for it and just leave it."
Yeah.
Like, it's just a different experience. So,
I think it's all the guy, the area. Like I said, my mail lady's fantastic. She's a 10 out of 10. I don't have any trouble with FedEx. I don't use UPS, but I think that's probably a good hint. Is if you find one that works better, then sign up for the account and move on.
yeah, seriously.
So
cool.
So CBCS, thoughts on that one? Because that was the whole thing was their express tier was like the place people were like, that's where the money's at. I'll pay $40 to get it back in a week or whatever it is. And now they jacked it to 60.
I mean,
Plus they also have this. I didn't even look, but they have the
I was going to say they're more
ultra
expensive now.
modern, the modern. Like they have the 75 to 2000, and then the 2000 to 2020. Do you guys know that?
No.
Why the hell do they treat them differently?
I mean, is anybody grading with CBCS to flip stuff though?
One of my chats, I
Yes.
heard some guys sending CGC books to CBCS. Can you believe that?
I mean,
No
I've always
way,
been a fan of them.
Because the grading on CGC is getting harsher. Like he I guess I won't put it out here, but he said he had a Thor 337. Our boy Philip Chung. Everybody knows.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, Thor 337. He had a CGC came back 9.0. Ink smear full left front corner, full right corner. He says it's a production issue. He's pretty sure he can get a CBCS 9.4 out of it.
I mean, I don't know, man. I the last thing that I really had nice to say about CBCS was Barack. So at this point, I deem them as a corporation, same as CGC, and there's no human element to it, and they have no advantage at this point. There's no tactical advantage to using them.
I agree. Steve was a keystone for that company.
Yeah, I mean, he was the personality, he was the face, he was the reputation. Now I don't know why they haven't renamed it to Beckett, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's brand awareness. I think Beckett's just cards, and they're like, well, if we change it to Beckett Comics, I don't, this CBCS and all that hard work that. I don't know. Like a new logo change, you change the label again.
Might as well change the label for the
make another label.
Yeah.
Make another one.
Also, you could also be worried about hurting the Beckett brand. It's like, keep that CBCS shit over there. Like,
Yeah, right.
So I don't know. I mean, $60 for the turnaround time they're promising is pretty hefty.
I mean, it would be
for a
sick
modern
though.
fucking book.
If they went to Beckett, if they threw the Beckett name and gave you that fucking black label they do on the
Black
cards,
label.
oh, it'll be
Sign
sexy,
me up
dude.
for that. Yeah.
Black with a gold lettering on the thing for fucking 9/8. Ooh.
We should sell that idea to him.
Oh well. Yeah.
So, CGC's modern is $24 plus 15 fast pass.
Yep.
What do we see in those turnaround couple weeks? Maybe 3 tops.
20 days is what they're claiming right now, but I know for a fact that if you're doing fast pass, you're seeing this shit back in like basically 2 weeks.
Yeah, I've heard pretty good turns right now. So wait, they have the new tier. CBCS has the new tier and the modern. So modern 75 to 2000, as new as 2001 to present. Standard is $20. Express is 60. Express Plus is 75, and Super Express is 250. And let's see what the description. Where was the description? Super Express is 1 day. Express Plus is 5. Express is 14. So truthfully, 14 days versus CGC's 2 to 4 weeks, let's call it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're charging you $16 more.
Yeah.
And if you're doing a pre-2000 books, tack on another couple bucks. It was $4 more.
Yeah,
I don't know
20.
why. So $10. I don't know. When you're putting $60 in a book, what are you slabbing that fast?
I mean,
Like it's not week of releases for the most part.
I don't know.
Some people just gotta have it.
That's a lot to get in, especially on a CBCS 9.8. I mean, unless it is a runaway hit,
Yeah.
Well, okay, I can think of books that you would do that with. If you get yourself behind the eight ball on announcement news or case in point with the Illuminati stuff, when that stuff all started to leak out and people were like, shit, like I've got no time until Doctor Strange comes out. I can't afford to do normal turnaround time because it won't come back before the movie's out.
Mhm.
And so people got caught being eight ball right there, not being proactive about grading stuff when you think something's going to happen, waiting until there's an announcement. But at this point, like case in point, anything that's leaked out, like or when the trailer came out for Thor, you were 6 months out from release. There was no way in hell there was a very slim possibility you were going to get your books back in time to make a move on Jane Foster Thor related stuff, even though you should have probably already had that shit graded, but some people still waited till the trailer came out, or Gordo God Butcher stuff, or whatever it may be.
But why would you do CBCS for 60 versus CGC for roughly 45?
Now, see, in that scenario, it makes no sense at all. Back when it was cheaper, yes, I could see you doing the CBCS thing, or
cheaper equal, whatever.
Hey, when Black Panther 3 came out, who was first to grade? What, like, as far as like when the graded books came out, who was first to market? CBCS or CGC?
I want to say it was CBCS.
Yeah.
Because Ninth Wonder likes to use them because he's so close that if it's about getting a book out in 9/8 as quick as possible, he'll go with them.
Mm.
Well, that also is probably people live there, drop them off, and they might just do walkthrough type shit, So I don't know. Especially you save the shipping time, you can cut off, a week and a half of the whole process.
You just name your price at the end of the day. But I got this just Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Madam Web and Emma Roberts joining Spider-Man Madam Web spinoff. So,
I mean, again, after seeing the Craven talk the week after we talked about Craven having a chance, and now he's an animal lover,
it's gonna be tough.
It's a hard sell. It's a real hard sell on this one to me.
Well, you got to think if they do Morbius, Madam Web, Craven, they might get to what Spider-Man or like what Doctor Strange combined did. Maybe.
Are you saying a hat trick of failed movies?
Yeah,
The only way this is a success is Madam Web is a fucking code name for Silk or fucking Spider-Gwen or something else. I mean, this
Such a hater.
I'm sorry, I can't buy it, man. Without a Spider-Man.
You could do a Madam Web origin story and have it be the setup for, live action Into the Spider-Verse situation of some sort, or, how they can then, leverage a Miles or, any other one of the Spider people. And the thing is, with a character like Madam Web, like, it's tabula rasa, like it's a blank slate. Nobody cares.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody who's like, that's my favorite Spider-Man character. So you're not going to worry about offending anybody. The only real context most of us have is from her handful of appearances in the Spider-Man live action in the 90s, because most of us didn't really read the Madam Web books. Whenever she would pop up, like none of us really cared, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, no one's in the internet community is gonna cry that they tweaked the origin story of somebody.
Exactly. Like this is the one character where it's like there's only upside potentially. Like all the downside is like, well, it's a Spider-Man adjacent character. You're still playing off a little bit of like 90s nostalgia. You may trick a couple people into going to see it because it's Spider-Man connected.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I see this being a better opportunity than the Craven or the Morbius, because at least those have you at least know enough about those characters to be upset about what they've done to those characters.
The other side of that is nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, I mean, so if it's a halfway decent movie, then people will go see it.
I don't know.
You'll be a fan.
I have a feeling it's going to end up on fucking streaming and not even actually go. But what do I know?
Interesting. Blade delayed.
Did you mean for that to rhyme?
I tried to, man. I'm a poet and don't even know it, man. So check it out. Yeah, so Blade's been delayed. I mean, I think what is it, the 5th or 4th delay? We think, all right. I mean, that's what I feel like. You know?
Yeah, it's like the fourth or fifth one at this point.
I mean, is it? Do we think it's because they're trying to make the best Blade movie ever, or it's just like what? I don't know. Anybody know?
There's definitely, I know, a log jam going on over at Disney in general right now. Like, so the same folks who shoot the Marvel stuff are shooting anything live action Disney as well. So like, it's just an assembly line over there for all things production related, art department related. Like, those people aren't really sleeping. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I got you.
So any little bit of you're not ready to go right now, you get moved to the back of the line. Like it is assembly line type of logic. It's like, oh, you're not ready, your product's not ready to be worked on right now, then somebody else is. Like so you get punted from your slot, and then somebody else gets moved in. So yeah, it's like if just one little thing doesn't align, there's not a whole lot of clearance to in your scheduling. So
you're saying Marvel's Coachella right now? Like if you don't make it to the stage, you're getting bounced?
I mean, yeah, it really is like that. Like it really is like that. Talking to the people I know who work for them right now, like it's like, yeah, it's like, oh, that movie got pushed back or that thing got pushed. Like you'd be surprised how many other movies have gotten shifted in the cycle or slightly pushed back that they just didn't, publicize or whatever. But everybody's had a little bit of a slip to their schedule because something would happen, an actor, whatever. This thing didn't align just right with like where we needed it, so we had to like shift things around.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
I don't think it has anything to do with like true problems. I mean, I also think they want to get this one right.
Yeah, I mean, there's no need to rush it. I mean, especially if this is just like Marvel occult and macabre like corner of the universe, like it's only going to have so much time bearing into the greater MCU situation would be my guess.
Yeah,
until it doesn't.
I mean, it's not low pressure, but it's also not Fantastic Four X-Men pressure either.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit closer to being a street level story. And when they needed to tie into the greater event of what's going on, they will tie it in. But like, I mean, we had that, the Stinger teaser from Eternals. But yeah, I mean, I think this is one of those ones where it's like, well, we can push this, kick this can down the road a little bit and be okay because it's not like everything hinges upon Blade and what's going on in his movie.
Yeah.
Interesting. The next thing I got is PayPal. So yeah, here we go. So this is the if you have a business account, which I do, thanks to Z, son of a bitch, 15 years later, it's finally biting me in the ass. No,
well, if you want to use like the Square or the
you got
Apple Pay or whatever, the credit cards, you got to have a business account.
So you cannot send a family and friends discount payment anymore on a business account. It has to be a personal account. So, and now you can get this changed, so it's not like let's not run out and yell at the street and stuff. You can get this. Definitely call PayPal, and you can just say, "Hey, I want my business account switched back to a personal for whatever reason you want to make up," and they'll do it for you.
And they'll put you right on the IRS red flag file.
I mean, sure. I'm not a lawyer. Our lawyer might show up, but maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, they increased the fees. What 2.89% to 2.99 minus the flat fee. There's some number that breaks down where you're going to win or lose money on that. I guess big books, you're probably going to lose a little bit. 0.1% is probably net neutral, but still, it's just, that this is truly them having to report stuff. So more bureaucracy on their end yields more price on our end.
Yep.
So that is what is expected when you add more reporting regulations.
I mean, and if you're really serious about trying to avoid paying fees, then do what some of these cats I know who are moving these big ass books are doing and fly your ass to whoever's buying it and do an exchange of money and property. there was a group that I'm a part of where somebody like the middleman basically who just collects a couple percentages off of facilitating the deal flew to I want to say Canada to pick up a Captain America 1 to then fly it back to Arizona to do the exchange. So he flew money to Canada and then flew book back down to Arizona.
There have been plenty of horror stories of guys with tons of cash on them boarding flights, and then like they just get stopped.
Yep.
And the cops will just say, "Oh, this is suspicious," and they'll just hold on to the money.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, especially you tell them you're going to buy a VHS or a comic book.
Well, I think it's definitely more risky international. Mind you, Canada, US is probably less so, but man, don't be trying to do that shit.
It's still a 10 grand cap, I think, of bringing money into Canada, or you coming into Canada with the equivalent of more 10 grand or so like that. I think for that one, once they got there, they withdrew the money from the bank, and then did the exchange at the local bank, and yeah.
I mean, I don't know. There's some value point where plane ticket is cheaper than the fees.
I mean, I've contemplated on a couple books. Like, I made the offer on that FF1. I was like, yo, I'll just fly back down to San Diego and we can do a cash exchange. But they weren't offering me much more of a discount to do that. So I was like, well, screw it then. I was like, you'll get a digital check then. You just keep it pushing. So
yeah, I mean, if you're paying cash, you want a decent break. And if you're receiving cash, you got to work that into your math of what's the value to you.
Yeah. No.
So
I don't know. I mean, I just think John and Carter, you went to that show. John told me it was like popping, right? Like that con you went to on, was it Sunday or Saturday? What day did you go? Were you there? Sunday. Like, there's no shortage of money in that room, probably, right? Just people moving.
Which con was that?
It was just some small con. A really small show.
You make it to Heroes?
No. I wish. Hopefully, maybe next year. We'll see.
I'll definitely be there next year. So
Heroes is a tough week for me every year.
Yeah, like obviously couldn't go. I'm a single dad in it, but yeah, it's tough.
Well, this is like the 1 year where it wasn't Father's Day weekend, which is nice.
See, that's the other thing. Like all the new cons are like Easter or some crazy holiday or
on the 4th of July,
yeah,
or something.
This is the last part of news. So Kevin Feige told us that more Thors are in the thing. It's a Loki effect, right? So more versions of Thor are going to be out and about. So
What does this mean?
Truthfully, for any true, like, I guess, value of a character beyond just kind of a one-off cameo, you got Beta Ray and technically maybe Masterson. Even that would be wonky, but maybe doable.
Yeah.
I mean,
what are all the ones from 2015 Secret Wars?
What's that one?
I mean, there's like a whole. They were like the armed forces of like Doom's battle world.
I know, but like there has to be enough recognition for them to put the effort into it being a character versus just a quick cameo.
I mean, yeah, true.
Like to build a show or a movie around something, they're going to want a little bit of recognition.
Is there going to be a Thor-verse in the comics?
No. Yes. Probably. We're running out of ideas. We have a Venom verse. We have a Miles verse.
The House of No More Ideas. That's Marvel. So expect Enter the Thor-verse sometime soon.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't say it was going to be that many. I mean, but the other two major ones could easily account for the more Thors to show up.
What's the other one in the Thor Corps? Wasn't there another one? Somebody put the Thor 440 up. There was another version of Thor. What was that one? I just remember 3 of them on the cover. A young guy. Oh, somebody in the comments can fill us in, I'm sure. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they talk about like the frog Thor and that kind of shit. I mean, you might get a cameo in Loki or something. Which, I mean, Crocodile Loki still cracks me the fuck up. So.
Yeah. I don't know.
Who's the cool dude on the cover of Thor 440? He looks like the Rob Liefeld version.
Does he have feet?
Yeah, but it's just like can you see? Can you pull up an image of that? Because
Yeah, pull up 440.
It looks
You
dumb
know.
as hell.
All right, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second here.
I mean, I know I can't remember what that character is. If my brother or one, he'd tell us. I just can't freaking remember.
Thor 440.
Yeah.
This one.
Dargo Couture is
Yeah.
that is the other one, I think.
That one.
Oh, those are
Yeah.
some Liefeld feet.
Yeah, who is that?
Yeah,
Wow.
Dargo Couture.
Draco. All right. Well, I don't know.
Future dominated by the oppressive corp after the discovery of Thor's hammer. Yeah, so the cult of Thor. Yeah, I don't see a future for this guy, but he is pure 80s trash. But I mean, who knows?
So what we're all saying is Marvel should just embrace Darkhawk. Is that where we're at?
Squirrel Girl.
Squirrel Girl, Darkhawk.
I don't think they can do
Sleepwalker.
Squirrel Girl. I think they've already kind of got that vibe covered with Kamala and Kate. I think there's only so much room for that vein.
Bullshit. They're gonna go for broke on the corniness.
What do I know?
Cool.
Other than
All right,
selling too soon.
Do we bust out the old marker report there, Mr. Z? Since you,
Yeah, I gotta focus now.
well, I mean, you took notes, so
I did take notes. I mean, you guys got no wife this week, and I paid attention and did some homework. That's an amazing day. All right, let's see. And do any notes on this one? Just love a good old Schomburg.
Yep.
2.0. Pretty nice presentation. Great Schomburg cover. 2K. Feels
Not a
good.
bad price.
Cheap, man. Cheap. Schomburg's goes so cheap for some reason. It's weird to me. Like,
Well, there's the ones that people go batshit
Yeah.
for, and there's the rest.
yep, it's weird.
I enjoy this one. It's not a batshit one, but it's a nice. Got a lot going on. It's got a Cap. It's got a Neymar. It's got Bucky. It's got.
It literally has everything going for it.
Yeah, I heard. I saw the Jeep one sold. The other Jeep one where everybody's in it. A couple weeks ago too. I think it was on Heritage maybe or somewhere.
I also think we're seeing some people dump some books for some cash because the world's getting a little wonky right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the house is on fire. I just think there's some people that are overextended and probably trying to get a little more solid footing.
Mm-hmm.
As I kind of look through some numbers, everything's a little bit light. Not everything, but things are a little down from last year or 6 months ago. So,
Are we planning on Marvel going to SDCC and revitalizing the whole market again? Maybe.
oh, we forgot to talk about that, didn't we?
Yeah, it's okay. I mean,
We
so
can hit it after the report.
yeah.
RG 50 classic headlight. A good presenting copy, but it's definitely rough if you look at the edges. So I mean,
I bought one of these
probably a fair price, but yeah, that top corner is rough.
I bought one of these for $20 at a flea market. Posted on Instagram and sold it for $500.
Oh, in a heartbeat.
24
People love
hours.
this one.
Okay.
You should just
good
hashtag
one to
sweater
look for.
puppy that one. Okay, getting to the pseudo blue chip range. This one, $38.50 for first Punisher. Kind of did some digging, just trying to figure it out. This is the lowest price since November 2021, so about 7 months. At that point, the high was $6K.
Holy shit.
I don't know that there's a hype cycle issue here, other than, there was a little bit of chat about the Punisher, but nothing crazy. I truly think this is just more the state of the market in flux numbers. If somebody in the audience, if you disagree, throw some comments on this. But this feels more like the hype cycle's down in general. Everything's just a little soft.
Yeah.
So I have several bronze ones to kind of talk about, but yeah. It hurt me to even put this book on here. But
I asked
knew we were gonna
George
talk
how many
about
he had of these. He said 0, which is surprising to me.
I mean, fucking 2K for this book.
That is some book.
I
don't know.
It is a newsstand.
So I can't. It's so hard on some of these books to tell if that's valuable or not because, half of them aren't labeled newsstand, and unless you actually track the sales on eBay and get an image or somewhere, you don't know because they just aren't labeled that way until a year ago, and even then, sometimes it's not 100%.
I mean, my logic with newsstand is it's less about the numbers of at what point the ratio tips into whatever favor. It is purely just understanding that newsstand copies, because of where they went, were just beat the living shit out of. So getting the most pristine copy of a book that a kid at a Rite Aid could give 2 fucks about, just that is you were a survivor copy is really what it is. It's you managed to make it through the gas station, the local corner store, maybe an actual newsstand. This wasn't a comic book shop. Even again, I wasn't alive to go to comic book shops in the 80s, but they knew how to take care of comics. They took care of their inventory. I remember being a kid on road trips in the 90s, and those comics were, you never picked up a copy from a gas station that didn't already have 10 spine ticks on it.
No, yeah. I get you. I'm more saying you can't tell the census what is a newsstand versus isn't, or even on GPA real well. They just isn't. Data isn't accurate because they didn't really note them consistently.
Not true.
But the high sale on this book, February 2022, there was a 2250 sale. Unknown if it's a newsstand. It's past the eBay date and couldn't find any data on it. Other recent sales have been around the 18 to 1900 range. So I assume there's a minimal premium right now or an undetermined premium just because of people don't know. Gold Spider-Man 300 tad over 5K this week. I mean, we've seen it down under, near, around. We saw CBCS at 4K. So I will apologize. A couple weeks ago, I was talking out my ass and maybe had too much to drink and said that a direct or a newsstand was 5 or 6K, and it's definitely much higher. So apologies on that. Somebody called me out in the comments.
You got roasted.
Yeah, too many bourbons that week. So sorry.
How do you guys feel about those labels, the custom labels?
Not a fan of this one. I think the Venom one is a good combo to go with this guy.
Yeah, I agree. I don't love that particular label.
Yeah,
I don't love the labels in general.
Right.
Though I take that. I've got my Tech 27 page. I wouldn't mind a Batman logo for that, but they don't do it. So
I like the Miles. The Miles one, I think works well with the Ultimate Fallout copies.
Yeah, I can see that.
This one, the hologram's not actually.
Yeah, they've finally figured out to not overlap them.
Yeah.
So that was good. This is a book. I apologize. I meant to do more research and I got sidetracked. I kind of forgot about it, but I had not seen it. I'm wondering if maybe Leg managed to grab any. It is a artist edition WonderCon exclusive, but $530 is a pretty hefty price. But it's kind of cool. I dig cover.
It. Yeah. But
I have no idea what was the start price. I don't think it was a cheap book to buy. I'm sure the buy-in is $100-$200 on these artist edition type things. But as Leg is not here, where in the world is Big Leg? Last I heard, he is tromping around Chicago. So hide your beer and hide your women.
I mean, it seems like it's a good price because there's other copies out there. People are asking for $1,500 for them. So,
but do you know anything? You don't know anything about it, right?
Looks like it came out back in 2016.
Oh shit! So it's an older one. All right. I thought it was newer, but shit. These artist edition things are. If you're collecting them, you're collecting. It's like an omnibus kind of collector. You want the highest end of the highest end. So, here is a book of example of don't hold shit too long. So, John Walker. I did do digging on this one because I couldn't remember. The high price, March 2021. Highest sales, 2 of them went for 900, with a huge smattering in the 600 to 750. So there could be a few newsstands in there. I don't know, but definitely there was consistent sales around 750. In case you're wondering, there are now 201 9/8 in CGC census.
Wow.
Which probably isn't even a lot compared to what will eventually show up, because people collected that cover just for the 25th anniversary thing. So,
yeah, they probably should have held on to this one because he's about to get love again with all this Thunderbolts news that's been slipping out. Like at that point, like if you missed that initial first wave, just sit on it. I mean, sit on it for the next 2 years when you finally get, some Thunderbolts action.
Yeah, this is a poor time to sell this book. Maybe a good time to buy it, but I struggle with that because I still think you can probably find them out there, or you can buy raw with a good upside. This one seems like a fucking steal. Fantastic Four 48 9.0 OG label. Looks pretty clean from a quick look. These slabs are a little harder to see through on some of it. They get a little more scuffed and whatnot. But April 9.0 sold for $15K. Lowest sale I've seen on this book since February of 2021, which was near this price. So, I mean, usually these old labels get a premium because there's a halfway decent expectation you can get a press and a bump. Not guaranteed by any means, but people will usually pay a premium. And to get this at 50% of April price feels hella good.
I think it's because they goofed. And this goes back to something we've said many a time before is the formatting of your title matters. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they've got the number, the issue number and the year so close together.
Yep.
I think it freaked it out. The fact that it doesn't have CGC directly behind the issue number freaked it out also. Yeah, this just didn't pop up on most people's searches.
And then 90 question mark or exclamation point, it's not just 90.
Yeah, because there's only 4 bids.
And I should have probably dug and looked at it if it was filed under the right shit. I didn't think
I can
about
look
that.
at that. I can look at that real quick.
But yes, I mean, no fire emojis. Silver Age is wasted language. I will tell you this. I always have the same format of title, the pound sign number. If it's a CGC, I list the CGC and the grade next, and then I'll do the date, but always in
parentheses.
In the not parentheses, the other.
So I don't know,
in brackets or whatever.
For key books, I don't include the year because it's kind of like nobody ever searches for, and like maybe they'll like weed it down a little bit. People sort of kind of, but like the FF 48 like damn near auto completes. Like FF 48 CGC basically auto completes for you. So I don't waste the characters on year and things like that. So
this is the listing. Hold on
I just do it out of habit, but like it's the 4th or 5th thing in my listing.
So I mean, he got everything. I mean, at least in the U.S. Comics, Silver Age, Marvel MCU. Yeah, I just think. I mean,
is he a shady seller? And I didn't catch it. It redid it so that it's not.
Let's see what he started at. How about that?
Maybe he started at 9K.
7,500.
Oh, well, there's where you kind of go along. You lose some bidders.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're, I don't know. I personally would never be worried on a book like that.
No, you should have done. You should have just started 99 cents because you're not going to take a bath to 7K.
Yeah, no, because there's nobody who's going to let that book go for anything less than like 7,000. Like, yeah,
no, you did a poor choice there. So I do think the starting price is probably your issue, and somebody If they pull a 9.2 out of that, it's gonna be fucking ecstatic.
I mean,
I was actually hoping
will.
I'd post this and you go, yeah, I got that one.
If I had seen it, I probably would have. Not gonna lie, if I had seen it, I probably would have bought it.
You would have thought real freaking hard about it.
Not even thought about it. Like I would have looked at I would have looked at GPA and seen that the last. Oh shit! Somebody may not have paid yet because I'm looking and I don't see that showing up on GPA right now on the 9.0.
Yeah, it wasn't on there this morning, or I looked a couple hours ago, so I assume it just hadn't processed yet. So
But
maybe
it could
not.
be the formatting also. Like I mean, well, they included all this proper stuff in the body,
Yeah,
so
I'm not sure. Yeah, I hope whoever bid it is paying because that feels like a fucking win.
no, it's absolutely a win. Like they'd be an absolute dipshit not to pay. But if it gets reposted, I will definitely go find it.
Well, put it on your list, guys, because I mean this book has upside still.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, so I don't know on that. This is one of Dino, so let me see. I didn't get a chance to look at
Oh yeah, it's shit. But Incredible Hulk 1 CGC 10 sold for $9,000. So that you can't see it, but current bid ended at $9,000 with 41 bids. I think this was a Heritage auction.
No, that looks like Comic Link.
Comic Link. Okay, yeah. So you know more than I do. Yeah. So basically, that's what it sold for: $9,000 for a 1.0. Decent deal. I mean, it's a blue label.
I didn't dig it, but cover looks good.
So I didn't.
dig
Rick, you sent this to me actually.
Yeah, I stumbled across that.
Look at you contributing on a market report. Look at this guy.
This is the most strange book of the week. This one coming up.
Is it me? Did I put it on there? Oh
No. I wouldn't have even eyed this. It just caught my eye of the price. Godzilla 1 signed by Stan Lee, Trempy, and Kirby. But threw me off is you got a beautiful Kirby sig on page 1, which is where I don't know I've seen any on the cover, truthfully.
Yeah.
And then you fucking put a big old Stan right across Godzilla and a Herb right next to it where the fire's coming out. I'm like, at that point, don't you just request him to sign the front page?
I mean, for $500, man, that seems like a deal, right? I mean,
it's not graded, it's not verified. I don't know. And
well, you said it's CBCS. I mean, whatever, man. I mean, if you're looking for a triple signature with those guys on it, I mean, it seems like a decent deal for me. I mean, you're paying for the Stan Lee signature. Looks like.
I'm just stating, you just kind of fucked it up because Kirby doesn't have a ton out. I mean, relative to Stan, there's not a ton out there.
Yeah.
And you just kind of botched it in my mind. Especially having the Herb like where it is. I understand Stan signing wherever the fuck he wants because he just did. But at least get the other one somewhere reasonable. And they're not even the same color. You got a gold and you got a freaking silver.
Yeah.
It just feels terrible. Like a hodgepodge of shit.
I would have done black. I know it's hard to see like black. I guess. I mean,
it just doesn't even look cool. I almost would have kept it just Kirby.
Yeah.
I don't know. Am I crazy on this?
I mean,
no, I would agree with you.
But yeah,
I don't have a Kirby.
The point in which you would have gotten both of these signatures, because Herb died back in 2012, 2013?
No, a little more than that,
but still, like, I mean, I don't know. I think this is somebody's copy who was just a fan and didn't like. We're thinking about all of this like extra shit on top of it of like value and things like that. Nah, this is just somebody who's a fan and was just like, oh, I had Jack sign my book. Would you two mind signing my book also?
All right.
I don't think like none of this was about value because if that was the case, they would have had any show that had both those guys at would have had CGC at it. They would have had it graded. Like no, this was somebody's book that like they just cared about.
I guess I just must have been a huge timeline between them getting signed though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know. You're right. This is us thinking one way. You could be just a collector who relatives selling their shit. Here's one. Lobo 1. This book had its heyday a few years ago, where first what are they calling it? Superhero first
First black lead to have his comic book or something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't know if they called it superhero. But this was a pretty popular book. I actually dug into the censuses. Was pretty surprised.
Mm-hmm.
There are 4 9/8s.
Yeah, I would have bought this book for the record.
And 45 higher than 8.0, which is wild to me because I never see it. 173 graded with more than a quarter of the census above an 8.0, which shocks me because I just don't see it. So maybe it's been one of those books that people have been buying in the background and just kind of grading the crap out of. But when I first saw it, I thought it was a fantastic price. As I kind of dug into it, I'm like, I don't know. I think you might be able to snag a better deal. That being said, March of this year, it sold for $1,200.
So a 9.4 is listed for $7,000 right now, and the 2 lower grades are like $1,500 for like 7.0. So
yeah,
I mean,
I don't know where you swing this book. I truthfully, it caught my attention because I don't see the high grades, but being that there's, when you include the 8.0, there's 65 or 70 copies in 8.0 or above, and I just was in shock. So I usually just see rags. So, this one's for Big Leg. One of the MVC creation books, limited to 500. This is another bad listing, in my opinion. They should have put the MVC in there. Still, some Masters of the Universe fans probably got enough bidding that it didn't get totally kicked to shit. But I think there probably was some more meat on the bone on this book. I think it's a real tough one. I'm sure Leg could have provided a little more insight on prices, but bad listing, but still enough bids that they didn't take a beating. This was my purely interesting cover I've never really seen before. Red Dragon, Volume 1, Number 3. I just kind of dug the Spectre with the gray tones and the nice red background. I just thought it was a beautiful book.
And those Street and Smith ones are pretty hard to get in high grade too. So
that's from 1948, so pretty early on. So cool book. Price wise, I don't know. I don't know if it's good, bad, or indifferent.
That looks amazing for what, $400?
Yeah. It's not like one that everybody's dying for, but if you're into kind of unique looking horror books, that's a cool one.
It's like nobody knows about it, and it's like, okay, if it does catch on, then it should be like wildfire.
It feels like a Rick book here.
Yeah, that's a skull cover. I'm surprised I didn't go for at least double that.
Well, no skull emoji, buddy.
They're missing out, and the picture's terrible. I mean, you can see the guy's hands and his phone.
Yeah. Rookie doesn't.
Somebody got a good deal.
Yeah, somebody's very, very happy with it. I apologize. I even took an image and meant to get more detail on that resto, and I freaking screwed up and didn't read it.
I'll tell you what it is because I have it. I'm going to say it. Let me.
Too small on the screen right
now. Yeah, I tried to. I was like, do I make the thing smaller? But that's okay. I'll do it real quick. Give me a second.
I still need that book badly.
So the restoration, it's a paragraph. So if you want to bring it down for me real quick.
Okay. Hold on.
You're good. Okay, so it says it's probably not much better. Let's see if I can zoom in. Oh, look at this! Look at this, people!
High tech.
Holy shit!
Zoom and enhance.
Yeah, enhance.
Just blew our minds. That was the most high tech shit we've done in 6 years.
I know, right? So the it says extensive amount of color cuts, pieces added to cover reinforced, spine split seals, tear seals, cover clean, staples replaced, cover married. So basically, it is an essay on what restoration is. So
it's a non-recoverable resto, but I mean, pull yours down. I'll just show the copy.
Yeah, I got you.
It's a rare ass book, tough book. It looks really nice
for
what it is. I mean, either you're into resto or if you're not, but on the plus side, it's a blue label from their friends at CBCS, so got that going for it instead of the purple.
Okay, cool. Look at this one.
Oh.
Hey, somebody look at Solo's going to give $650 a sign if P-Dub signs it on the cover. CBCS verified. Interesting. Do it, man. We'll get him to
On the
sign it.
Godzilla.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gotta get a different color marker for him. We'll have him sign it in crayon.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Oh, he's gonna Dremel it. This one is more just a shout out. I saw it, and my brother had told me the other day he won it, and I
Oh, nice.
was digging through the market report and looking, and I said, well, I'm gonna dig in and see how he did. Early tech, number 44, 1940. Nice grade, 4.0 for that early a book. Presents pretty well. I mean, a little ding on the corner. Some things going on. Fantastic Boy Wonder cover going on. A nice Batman. I mean, it's not a key issue, but it's an early tech, and you know, he said he was buying it because he wanted the big
Tech.
the big ear Batman cover.
Okay, yeah.
Because he said he didn't have one. So I said, I think, you know, if you're buying a tech for nice, you know, 4.0 range, presenting well for $1,500, I don't think you do terrible on it.
I mean, the only downside is it doesn't have the red tech on the, I mean, besides it's beautiful though, man, for a 4.0. Yeah, like you said, he's got Boy Wonder on it. A lot of truest Batman people hate Robin on the cover. Probably you got a better deal for him actually because Robin's on the cover.
I like a good Robin on the cover.
You're in the minority because true Batman people. Yeah,
me and Nightwing fan that you were talking about earlier. We're in.
Yeah, I got it's like Bucky on Captain America. Same kind of concept. But no, I probably gave him a better deal. Same thing with not a real, I guess, you know, not a huge key, not like a collectible.
No.
You know,
I mean, pre 50 tech, well, actually pre 100 tech and pre 50 Batman are always going to be in demand to some degree. I mean, he's not going to take a bath on this ever because it's not like market spiked for being a key or you know, up too high. He's just buying a slow and steady. I did some reading. 106 copies graded, which truthfully is not a lot. Max price in May there was a $17.50 buy, so you know, depending on what it looks like and such, he's right in line with what it should be. Probably the steal was in September of last year. The Promise collection was only a 5.0, and that went for $16.85. So, you know, get a nice pedigree label for a little bit of a premium. But, you know, all in all, good purchase. Congrats. This one intrigued me, and I forgot to research it. So, just enjoy the $1,200 for Doctor Strange 9.8. Yep. It's a weird book. It's his first number one. The 168 kind of always takes all the heat on this, but still cool to see. I wouldn't throw this book back.
What's the W in the title?
White pages.
Zero effort.
Say white pages.
What a waste!
Yeah,
just put in white pages.
That's a win.
You had all the space in the world to do it, and you just like fuck it.
Did we miss a one?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you do the coverless tech?
No, you didn't send it to me.
Oh shit, it got lost. Damn it.
I can pull it up. You want to pull it up?
No, it's fine. It's fine. I actually was going to say something. There's a Tech 168 first red hood coverless. I had shown it just because it had, you know, you don't see many. But what was interesting is it had used an abbreviation that threw me off. It was coverless W/O complete, and I'm like, without complete. And then when I read the description, it was
this one. OW.
OW, otherwise complete. He used OW for
instead of
otherwise
off white. You think it's off white though, right?
No, I don't think it's off white.
No. That's what OW would mean to me, right? Off white.
But I don't know. I don't think so. I think he meant otherwise complete because in his first statement it says otherwise complete.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I mean, technically, tan is off white.
So this is 1700, and it's funny because I looked it up as we were going through it, and my comic shop has one actually, which is surprising to me. Actually, there's two of them out there, and it looks like the same thing. 1600.
Huh. Yeah,
So-
I was going to comment that that's a great splash page.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, a great splash page. Yeah, we lost a couple of them. Damn it. I hate when that stuff doesn't go. Sometimes when I send it, it doesn't all go through. I will say 2020, there were sales of 1,600 and 2,500 graded. And then in 2018, there was a high of 3,500. These are CGC GPA, so who knows outside of that. So there's that. This was a cool one. You don't see too many of these fucking group books in this high grade.
No, my wife's a group fan, and she just I just can't break $4,000 into her. You know, she'd kill me, even though she loves group. She's like, man, the cover's meh. You know, she likes the modern group, but
it's only 514 graded. So sales data feels like a steal. Numbers all over, but in March, a 4.5 sold for 4,800. So you're under that. You're under the 4.5 3 months ago. In January, a 7.0 sold for 6,600. And the big monster was in May, so just a month ago, a 6.5 sold for 8,600. So feels like a pretty good buy. And I don't know. I don't know. I've ever seen a high grade copy. Have you guys?
No.
Anyone?
No. I see like 3s and 4s at most.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of 2s. A lot of freaking rags. This one just intrigued me because I like looking at the splash page, and the other looks like maybe a torn copy, but kind of cool to see the double Iron Man. I didn't get into the prices on this one. It's so hard to determine an incomplete with parts like that. But still fun if you're going to buy a low grade copy. Get part of a cover. Get the good part.
Yeah. I'd rather take that half than the other half, the top half, right?
Exactly. Ultimate Fallout 4. I mean, we'd seen the sales for 40K on the 9.8, so I just tried to look and see what it had done to the lower grades.
$6,000, man.
So in March, there was a 9.0 that sold for 4,500. In April, there were a couple sales for a 9.2 at 48 to 55. And in a 9.4 in June sold for 7K. And there were a couple sales in the past couple of months in the 6 to 7,500 range. So I don't, a little bit of a spike, but not crazy at this point. So I don't know. I don't have an opinion if that's a good or a bad buy on this one. Feel free to comment and tell me that I'm an asshole on it. So, and then ending this one, I just kind of wanted to compare this to the Punisher. So this is a book that is down on the hype sale. This is the lowest sale in 15 months since March 2021. And the high was actually June 2021, a year ago, 7,200. So you're down 40% from the high. That's a tough fucking hit. It's all about timing, gentlemen. All about timing.
Sir.
Man, where's Keith Sweat when you need him? Make it last forever.
I got one more. Because we didn't show it. So this one.
Oh yeah.
So AF-15 went off on Whatnot. $30,300. This is a $50,000 book, maybe, right?
It's something close to that.
Right.
You can't fucking smell it.
Chris, would you buy this?
At 30?
Yeah, I don't know.
I personally wouldn't, just because I sold a 3.0 back when things were getting hot for like 40, so I'd be hard pressed to buy. I watch just because, to get back into one, I stay watching and they're slipping. So maybe not necessarily $30,000 slip on a 2.5, but they're slipping. So it's like, I don't know if right now you want to be buying these, because like I know somebody personally who just lost their ass on a copy they sent off to Heritage.
Ooh.
Like, yeah, they were expecting a much bigger windfall than they ended up, and they lost on a 4 or 5 copy.
They lost.
Yes, they lost money. They bought in. Their shop owner here in the area bought in, at reasonable money, sent off to Heritage, and they probably took a 15 grand hit on it.
Son of a bitch. Wow.
Well, I do think this book is a very interesting book. I think, Spider-Man is such a universal character. I think the international market probably plays a stronger role in this book, ASM 1, and a couple others, like just because of the book and the character. So, a little more pressure in the international markets because also just put some more downward pressure on this than some other examples.
No, good point too. Here's another good point. 800 people in the room too, so it's not like it's 10 guys in a room just battling. So
No.
just so So just
It's good that Chris was saying that it's everywhere. I would have thought that's probably a deal on whatnot, but you're saying it might just be a general market down.
Well, here, let me put it in perspective. So, looking at 2.5s on GPA right now, so what was that, 30 on whatnot?
30, yeah, 30,300, yeah.
There was a 34 sale somewhere in the last, or May 15th. Prior to that, it was a 50 grand book. But yeah,
So it
the
is-
last 2.5 sold for 34. So that's kind of right on point with the downward trend we've been seeing on those guys.
So the high water mark was end of the year, beginning of the year.
So around April or so, it peaked at 50K. It was about a 40 grand book in the early part of the year. The last year's low was like 19,000. I think that book's starting to come back down to earth again.
I think another factor. I mean, I talked about international. I like talking about my ass, but here we go. All these fractional share type things are also kind of probably been big buyers with the crypto market down and capital getting not cheap. They're probably less buyers because they were just buying in and making guaranteed profits, selling the fractionalized shares. So I can see these monsters taking a little bit of a retracement. Just a lot of things that were happening that maybe aren't right now. So
yeah. I mean, let's keep in mind also too. I mean, you brought up a good point earlier. Is that there are people who, during 2020, when the market was doing what it was doing, like made poor investment in books. Like they bought big books, not expecting the market to recede, and are not in a position where they can afford to take any type of loss on these books, or there's a very small window of loss that they can afford to take. And when these things all started to slide and people got scared and just was like, whatever I can get for it, I'm trying to get up from under this collectible because this is not going to be the retirement that I thought it was going to be.
it might be. You just got to be willing to weather some of these market highs and lows on some of it. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, let me put it this way: I got a couple giant sizes that, at least one. I'm upside down on one of them. It is what it is, and I'll wait until X-Men happens. And if it never gets back to where it needs to be, then you know what? Hey, that one was a poor investment.
Yeah, hey, and let's be okay. That's a good point. We kind of post all our successes, right? It's like at the casino, right? Everybody tells you how much they won, right? Oh, I made, but nobody tells you what you lose, right? Everybody
Except me.
Well,
Right.
yeah, right.
I never win.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, it's like you got to take it. Sometimes you take a loss, man. I mean, it's, obviously our losses aren't as crazy as most people's losses. I think we kind of know what we're doing a little bit better, but I mean, still, that happens to the best of everybody too. I mean,
There's a lot of outside things going on here in the world.
Yeah, I mean, and if you call yourself playing big, there's big risk and big reward. Like sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. It's the nature, whether it be comic books, stock market, whatever. So
here's a crypto story for you. So I heard this one a couple days ago. Girl spends her life savings and her inheritance and her dad's life savings on cryptocurrency, and the market falls out. So yes, they're back to pretty much zero.
Hey, when's her funeral?
Dude. And the bad part is they had an interview about it, and she was like, he gave her a blessing, so it wasn't like she just kind of like took his money and did it. I mean, it was. Ugh.
Hey, I've said to you guys, I sold some books and put some money in crypto. I'm under right now.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna wait it out and see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Could be a win, could be a loss. Who knows in 2 years where the world is. Giant size X-Men could fucking double up, or it could half down. The other stuff could go either way. Who knows, man? We're in a weird part of the world. A lot of shit going on that if you asked any of us a year ago wouldn't have dreamed about.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, even though I'm down on that one copy, it didn't stop me from buying the 9.6 because I was like, oh, this 9.6 is down. Cool. I'll buy while it's on the dip. Like that's kind of how you hedge your bets at least in the stock market. Whenever I was playing that game, it's like you hedge your bets. Like you don't sell what you have. If it dips, you buy low if you got faith in it. So
yeah, and again, if you've got the resources to hold these, then it's not as much stress that if you've went on credit and all that kind of stuff. If you're living on a thin line of credit and razor's edge, you're going to get beat no matter what you're in. If you're investing in books you can afford, or stocks or crypto or whatever it is, man, and you know that it's something that you can afford to hold, if it goes to shit, you're probably better off.
Well, I'm crackhead pricing certain books to pay for tapes, so
I got you. Look at you.
Come see me.
Speaking of picking up things, I only got one pickup this week. So I bought this book, and I'll tell people what I paid for it. I don't care. So look at this boy. Well, Last of Us.
nice.
Well, Dark Horse. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it looks good.
Which one is that?
Number 1, Last of Us. From
Is that the variant?
Oh, I know you're gonna ask me. So this is going at least on eBay for like here's me talking out of my ass. Like 140, 150, right? So I got this for an astonishing $50. So I think I'm doing okay on it.
Are they selling?
I don't know. You want to know? Well, the
I'm
movie's
curious
coming.
if they're selling. I've had, one of the variants of another issue up forever, and it doesn't get any traction. So I'm just curious if the ones are selling, or if it's just the hype machine of listing a bunch, but nobody's actually buying.
So this is the variant edition. Let's see if it's sold. There's only a couple on there. 99, 202, 80, 75. So a little, I mean, I guess I paid market. 46 in June 20th. Again, I don't know what there's no grades in half of these. I mean, do you hold just for the movie to come out? I mean, I just, you know how I am. I just buy stuff. I'm like, it's just sitting there. There's a Clerks I'm looking at that has like 3 signatures, but it's nobody worth really mentioning. I don't know. Things I think about. Does this have enough juice to go back on the back wall? I don't know.
I've been in and out of the Last of Us game.
Yeah.
So
There were probably some hype cycles that you would have done better, like casting and early on.
Yeah. Who's
Right
next on the old Z? You got anything?
I got a couple before Chris shows off something that makes us all cry, probably.
Yeah.
I have really not been buying much. I've been just kind of watching the market. I may have to bid here in a few minutes on something. Picked up Italian, a couple books from Italy.
Nice.
Another copy of Italian Luke Cage.
So how do you pronounce Luke in Italian?
Luke.
You know what's funny? Wait a second.
Fancy?
I can't believe it's not Luca. I can't believe it's not Luca or something like that.
Dude, I don't know. Why are you asking me silly questions?
Luca.
I grabbed it for shipping because the book I actually wanted was this one. It is a magazine size. It's Linus Estate. What is interesting is this is actually the first Italian edition, 1948, that prints Fantastic Four #1. So the Guts have Fantastic Four 1, I think Daredevil 4, a couple other books in it. Actually have to go to the 3rd or 4th time in Italy 3 or 4 years later when they actually used Fantastic Four 1 on the cover. So I didn't spend a lot of money on it. I just wanted one. I dig the peanuts. I dig that it's got the Fantastic Four 1 in it. Thought it was a cool book to add to the collection. So that's it.
I got
some tapes.
Sort of, kind of. I tell you what, I should be doing a haul video on probably the middle of the week or something like that.
Look at that, boom.
Most likely.
Where's the video was at, man?
It's been about a month, but I've been doing other things. So okay. We got this back from CGC. So we got the Wolverine.
Oh,
Wolverine.
That's the one from the little con.
From like about a year ago.
When
George
bought his.
Yeah. So this is from that same batch.
Wow.
So Wolverine #1, J. Scott Campbell from 2010, the Deadpool cover. So it came back at a 9.8.
Very nice.
That's all I can ask for. That's all I can ask for.
What'd you pay for that again?
That's like $1,000.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here's an interesting question. Is it going on the bay? You selling that thing? Or you keeping it forever, man?
It's a hold until things kind of
flatten out a little bit.
Yeah. Because everything's on the dip, and I noticed there is a copy online right now, and it's not selling. So I'm like,
what are they asking for? Is it?
Gosh, it's definitely in the tens of thousands. I'm pretty sure about that.
All right.
There you go.
It'll get there again.
Yeah, so I'm happy. This is definitely something I've been after for a very, very, very long time. Shout out to Lightning 2288 from way back in the day of the comic book hall game. He had shown this book off, and I've wanted one ever since.
Well, that's one of those books that you'll never buy for yourself again. So you have to think real hard to let it go.
Right, exactly.
Because you're never spending the money to buy another.
No, absolutely not. So, think long and hard before you sell it. All right. So we got a VHS tape.
Oh, Batman action. Nice.
Yeah, I had shown this off on Instagram today. So this is, can anybody see what's going on with this?
Is that the Warner Brother label or wrap?
Well, it's a Warner Brothers watermark.
Diet Coke, though?
Yes, compliments of Diet Coke. It's a screener copy.
Ooh.
And it says so right on the side.
Is this one of those ones that like the Diet Coke ad pops up 30 minutes in? I'm joking. Like Diet Coke just pops up in the middle of the screen.
Something like that. It's actually advertised. If you take it out, which it's sealed. Yeah. We do
show us. Jesus.
We do sealed over here, but it actually says Diet Coke on the label, on the front and side label.
Nice.
So, let's watch it and see if that pops up.
Right? You can look it up. But yeah, this is the promo copy, which is probably one of the rarer versions.
Nice.
So yeah.
Why do you say version instead of variant? Let's use the term.
Oh. That's all you got this week, man?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So
can't wait for
first things first. Some stuff came back from CG. I did a lot of stuff. I got 75. So
holy
three
shit.
Boxes. Yeah. 3 boxes of 25 of pop, including things like that guy.
Oh, nice.
Jen Bartel, the 9.8. Some Demon Rider love.
Hey, did you do 9.8 or bust?
Nope.
Man.
It just takes too long now. The turnaround time is just like trash. Low portrait 9.6, but you know what? I don't have to complain over.
I've been looking for that Howard the Duck one of the of the Windpool Howard the Duck one stuff.
Little Frank Cho 9.6.
Yeah, I like that
one. Let's see what else happened. Oh, like everything you ever wanted. Echo.
Hey, it'll come back around.
Yeah, so all of those guys. Like Echo, the series is in production as we speak. It's not finishing up, so
Yeah, it has life coming again.
Let's see, anything else here? A little Jason Todd and Killer Croc action and a 9.6.
That's such a hard 9.8 to get, man.
Yeah, it really is. Like, I don't see how this book didn't get it, honestly. Like, it's perfect, and it's even a scenario where it's got just enough of a misrep so that the white will eat up anything that would have been on the spine, but there was nothing there. I just don't get it.
That's how they get you. That's how they get you.
Waviness, dude.
Send it back again.
Yeah, so
Oh yeah, I'll put it up, Carter.
Couple gimmies. So that actually was from one of Stein's like mystery packs or whatever. So yeah, I'll take it.
Tell them bullshit. I didn't get a 9.8. You want your money back?
Little Bloodstone 9.6 action.
Hey, there was a time we'd throw the 9.6 back, but these days we don't.
So, and this is like the segue into the big book. So, I decided just because I found them interesting, these Marvel Universe cards, Jim Mint 10s of the most valuable comics. So we got the Fantastic Four. My logic is like, I like to have these for my bigger comic books. So X-Men 1.
Did you grade them or buy them?
I bought them already graded. Like,
is that market down quite a bit from its high?
Oh yeah. I definitely swooped in and bought a lot of these for under $100 a piece, on auction.
Good deal.
And then last but not least, this one just came in, I think the other day, was the Hulk 181. And that's a nice little segue into.
Yeah, for $100, I'll buy those.
Ooh, so needed to double up again. So this is a crazy story. So this guy posted, so if you're not in like the CGC comic groups or the CGC Reddit page or comic book trading page, it pays off. So this dude posted this book and was asking questions about, trying to sell big books. How do I go about doing it outside of, the CGC forums? Because apparently he's sold a lot of the CGC forums. I was like reached out and was just like, well, what are you looking to get for it? And he said a number. I was like, based off of what is happening on Heritage right now, because Heritage was single-handedly dragging down the average of this book like crazy, because they were just rapid firing out 9.4s and they were not finishing where they needed to finish at all. So I made him an offer, and it was less than what he wanted for it. But I was like, hey, I got cash right now. He's like, well, somebody else. He's like, I'd consider it, but somebody else made me an offer for what I was asking for. I was like, all right, cool. Wish you the best. That person flaked to come that Friday, and he came back to me, and I was like, well, this is what I can do on it based off of like the history on it. And I mean, you know what? I'll be transparent on it. I got this for $15,000 some change. Market value on this book right now, because legitimately after I bought it, one sold for 19. So I was like, well, shit. Sucks to that guy for not holding out a little bit longer.
I mean, you can't control the swings, and I mean, he would have taken some fees on fucking Heritage, and
yep.
Yeah, I mean, I covered the fees too, so I gave him a little extra and covered, what the goods and services fees would have been. So he walked away with a clean $15,000 on the book. So
I mean, Heritage takes what, 20%?
So Heritage. So here, let's have a quick conversation before we bail for tonight. If you are bringing big books to Heritage, you can negotiate what is basically Hammer plus a percentage of the buyer's premium. The person I know who just took a wash with them was able to negotiate Hammer plus 8. So he got the Hammer closing and then 8% of the buyer's premium.
Oh, really?
Yes. And
but
whenever I go
a big book,
like a Hulk 181, like a Fantastic Four #1, anything that's probably over $15,000, you could probably negotiate a percentage of like all of the Hammer and then a percentage of the buyer's premium.
All right.
When I go to them,
that's a pro tip.
Yeah. So when I go to them at San Diego, I'm going to be taking some big books with me to San Diego. I'm going to try to sell them just right there at the car. But if people don't have the cash to do it, I'm just going to take them over to either Metropolis or Heritage, probably Heritage, and just basically negotiate. I'm going to push for Hammer plus. I'm starting at Hammer plus 8 plus 10, and they'll have to walk me down.
Yeah, no big deal.
Because I mean, them getting 10% just to like be the middleman, I think that's more than worth it. So,
So, do you prefer Metropolis as your second option?
Yeah, from a visibility perspective, honestly. I mean, well,
You
because
think they do more? They do more than Comic Link.
honestly, yeah. And I think also the fact that I think it's Comic Link doesn't take American Express.
Huh. I just always find I've bought a few things from Metropolis, but I always find their auctions so haphazard. It's disturbing.
Yeah, I mean that is another thing too. I know somebody who just took a loss on. They sold a CBCS X-Men 1 9.0, and it finished at damn near half of what the comparable CDC book finished at Heritage that same weekend.
Well, I mean, they'll throw a Batman 1 in with fucking 90s Drek. Like there's no like. Okay,
Yeah.
what always throws me off of like. There's just so much in the auction, so I don't know. I don't do enough on the auction circuit to care. It's interesting somebody that does a little more.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, Heritage is my go-to. I've had good experience buying from them. The 1 or 2 times I've sold through them, I've had good experience. So I'm gonna, and I mean, when I do unload, it's going to be. I mean, yeah, I may bring that FF160 to them, like at San Diego, because I have a sneaky suspicion that we're going to get a casting announcement at San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And so after that point, it's probably a good time to unload. So I'm going to try and move the 2.5, move the 6.0, and then hold on to my 5.0 because it's got the highest margins left in it. So,
Okay, so we got another thing. Carter Man and Steer Thunder. So you want to look at that. Bring out Kermit the Frog on these things? You want to see this, bro?
My buddy Michael Bajel in the comments. He just texted me. He texted me this picture. This is the master prop replica Kermit the Frog. It's supposed to be as detailed as something that they would use on the show, on the TV show. For the Muppets, and he's been after this thing for a very long time, probably well over 10 years. And so he finally got it, and he's really thrilled about it. And that thing is hella expensive, like really expensive, like surprisingly expensive. So I just wanted to say congratulations on finally getting it, because I know the ordeal. I've been hearing about it for years.
Interesting.
It's one of those things you got to have the love.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Well, all right, boys. A little over an hour, but we're good. So we got a new show coming up soon. A little market report action, kind of harkens back to the modern playbook era, maybe. 4 or 5 books. They're getting kind of started on that. Comic Shop Top on Wednesday, Sundays Tape Heads. We might have a special guest roll through in a couple of weeks. I don't know. I think that's it. Monday's flagship show. I'm gonna come on, and then I'm going to after this I'm gonna start my viral marketing campaign. So we'll check everybody later, and I think that's it. So we'll check everybody later.